Hello, welcome to week 6 of our course. I look forward to working with you during this week. This week we will be focusing on contemporary issues. We'll be examining the future of the United States and the United States in the 21st century. One of the main topics or themes that we will be addressing this week is the fact that the United States is becoming increasingly diverse. Currently, approximately 18% of the population of the United States self-identifies as Latino or Hispanic, based on census information. It's projected that within the next half-century, Anglo-Americans or white non-Hispanic Americans will no longer be an absolute majority of the population in the United States, that this could come about as early actually as 2050. So we will become what some people have called a majority-minority nation, that most people living in the United States will be members of various minority groups, that you won't have one ethnic group make up more than 50% of the population by 2050. And this has led to a discussion of the future of the United States, the culture of the United States moving forward. One debate has centered upon the status of English and Spanish as languages in the United States. There's been much debate surrounding this. On the conservative side, there are many who argue that English should be maintained as the sort of dominant or primary language of the United States. Conversely, others argue that there's great value in multiculturalism, and that Spanish should be embraced as a language of the United States as well, and that no single language should be regarded as an official language of the country. I would certainly side with the group that argues that multiculturalism is valuable. English is not the official language of the United States, and I think there's great value in the United States becoming a multilingual nation. That doesn't necessarily mean that every person in the United States will learn to speak Spanish, but that Spanish can become commonly accepted as a language used in regular and official business and everyday life in the United States, as it already has been in many communities across the nation. So, I don't think it makes much sense to assert that English has to have some sort of privileged or special status as a language in the US. I think there's room for diverse linguistic traditions, and certainly Spanish has become a very important language in the United States due to changing demographics over time. We'll also look at contemporary debates concerning immigration to the United States, which can be quite controversial as well. There are elements in US politics that want to restrict immigration, that want to limit immigration. I would argue that this is not a well-founded position. Immigration over time has been very beneficial to the United States as a nation. One thing to keep in mind is that the birth rate amongst Americans has been declining, and as a result, the population of the United States is aging. The baby boom generation was the largest generation in American history. Baby boomers are now entering retirement, and this population will become increasingly dependent on social services like Social Security and Medicare. It's beneficial to the United States to have immigrants enter the country. A majority of immigrants to the country are young, and the birth rate amongst immigrant populations is higher. So in order to counteract this aging population, in order to raise tax revenue to support the social services needed for this aging population, immigration is actually quite crucial and important. we need an influx of especially young people, people of working age, into the country. And I think it would be misguided to try to prevent that from happening. These are some issues that we'll be discussing this week. I look forward to working with you.